Now that many of our NWEA MAP tests are done, we are going to begin to look at the data. And then it would be great to sit down with students to set goals. There's different ways you can do this. So you can do digital goal setting, or they have a worksheet that you can do with students. I'm looking at one student. This is on the student profile. I can scroll down, and right here is where the student's at. This is the goal that NWEA gives the suggestion for based on typical growth. What I want to look at first, though, is what are some things I can do to help that growth. So if you look in the instructional areas, it'll say where the relative strength is, and then it'll also say an area of focus. So in that area of focus, I'm going to click, and over here it gives all the areas of focus, and I know that the one that we needed to focus on for this student was informative text and literature. So I'm looking down here, and this tells me what this student is ready to develop, ready to learn. But if I want to reinforce some skills as well, I could go up here and click reinforce. So I know he's ready to develop distinguishing a story from other types of writing. But I also know that I need to reinforce that he understands the central idea based on an illustration and a literary text. So I can do reinforce, and I can also do what he's ready for. So I might want to use both of those in order to create a goal. I'm going to click out of the instructional areas right here by the X. And now what I'm going to do is, when I'm sitting with the student, I'm going to click on Customize the growth target for this student by setting a growth goal. I click on that, and it's going to take me to an editable digital worksheet. So I scroll down, and this is a goal for the next testing session. So NWEA MAP says that they're suggesting that this student's RIT score goes to 161. If the projected growth is met, he'll move up to the 58th percentile. You can change this based on just doing this and you're clicking, and when you click out, you'll see that it moves up. I am hesitant to do that only because this is based on hard data, and across the country, if you do see an instance in which a student just didn't test well and you think maybe that they could have a higher goal, then that might be an instance in which you change it. We have our custom goal here, and the cool thing is we're going to go down here, scroll down, and they have an action plan. So down here it says instructional area scores, and they have it for this fall. Well, it already says that this is that area of focus. So if I want to focus on those things that I looked at before, I will be focusing on the central idea of a text and an informational text specifically. So an action plan would be to work with that text, obviously. So action plan, student will read 2 informational texts per week teacher will focus on informational texts in small group with student. Then you will go down and click set goal. When you go up here, I can see that the goal is 161, the projected growth is 10, and we started at 151. And then I'm going to look at my action plan. These are the action plans. So you have a digital reminder of what are we doing together and what is our goal. There's another way that you can set goals with students. I would follow these same steps, going through that student profile and setting those growth goals. But in addition, you could have an actual hard copy that the student could actually write down. And this one is called the Student Goal Setting Worksheet. It looks something like this, and it gives you where the student needs to work. We were focusing on the reading, and it's informational text and literature that the focus was. So you'll notice that's in yellow, that student needs that support in. Here's the student action plan. The student can literally write out their action plan for that testing period, and then you have a hard copy. You can also send it home, and you could talk about it at conferences, talk about what you plan to do to have that student meet those growth goals. The student goal setting worksheet is in the MAPS report section, so you will just be clicking on MAP growth reports, and you'll go in and you'll look for student goal setting worksheet. So those are two ways that you can set goals with your students.